Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to Major Hype. I'm your host, Maxwell, where every single day we talk about real estate, money, and entrepreneurship. And today's no different, so let's get started. We can all agree personal finance is important, right? It's very important. I can remember even when I was in high school and was like, why don't we know how to balance a checkbook yet? You know, I know checkbooks, thinking of past. But recently, states like Georgia and Florida started implementing curriculum into the students' schoolwork that they are required to do so. I talked about it before, but Michigan's bill finally hit the desk of the governor. And if he signs it, it will require anybody entering into 8th grade after 2023 to pass a semester of personal finance. I think this is amazing. I think it's way too late. I think a semester is a little short, but I'll take what I can get right now. So kids, please take advantage of this. And I hope that the curriculum is actually good and teaches them a lot about personal finance. Because one person said, listen, they can order a pizza and they ask them if they want a credit card with that as soon as they get into college. So personal finance is something important. We need to be teaching our kids this anyways, and they finally hit the desk. Now, this was a bipartisan bill, and actually some of them kind of pulled back and didn't support it because it says the half credit course will count towards math, arts, language, and foreign languages. Some of them were opposed to the bill at that point. I think that it should go somewhere in the math category, but it's going to take away another half semester or half credit from something else, which I think this is very important. So go ahead and let's just push that through. Let's make it happen. Governor signed that bill so the kids are going to get educated on personal finance. My question is, we got about 47 other states and territories that need to follow along. How long would this take before everybody's kid knows at least something about personal finance? One of my guilty pleasures is watching the show ESPN 30 for 30, right? Talks about the rise and the fall and the financial mishaps of a lot of athletes. Well, BlackRock, we all know BlackRock, or some of us should, if not, look them up, is going to start I think they've actually launched a financial wellness class for the athletes that are going to allow them to put certain amount of their sponsorship money set aside for long-term investments. I hope athletes take advantage of this, but I also hope that athletes are more involved with their actual personal finance themselves. Yes, get a manager, get a money manager, all that stuff. But I think at this day and age, information is out there. Players need to get involved. I have athletes all the time hit me up in the DM whenever I see them out and they say, hey, look, I want to invest with what you got going on. And one of my requirements is that you have to come here and you have to spend at least a day with me to see what's really going on. Investing is cool, putting your money, but you should want to know where you're putting your money at. And you should be able to speak about it in the locker room. So shout out to BlackRock for doing this. I hope the project and the launch of this is successful. And I hope athletes themselves start to take personal finance and investment even further. And I know a lot of players associations, shout out to Chris Paul, is doing that in the NBA and when he was the NBA Players Association leader. But I hope they continue that trend where more players are getting into personal finance and investment so they can just leave the game whenever they want. Take that big money, put it in places that's going to make you money, and that way you can just chill and relax and do whatever you want when you retire. So hopefully this is going to be the trend. We're seeing more. You know, shout out to the guys at EYL because it's now cool to know about finance. You know, I've been talking about real estate since 2016 here on YouTube, and a lot of people have taken the advice and changed their family tree. But it was an era where EYL just took it to, it's cool now. It's no longer cool to be ignorant about the topic of investing in real estate and stocks and all this stuff. So let's keep this trend going. I like this culture. Let's keep this one going. If you've been on any social media platform over the last few days, you know that everybody that was talking about NFTs and crypto a few days ago has silenced. Well, some of them that were in the foundation of it are still talking, but most of the ones that were there for the big gains and the major hype, no pun intended, of the Bitcoin have absolutely been silent. Well, some of the biggest lenders in Bitcoin, a company named Celsius, has halted all of their lending, right? So if you have a portfolio of crypto and certain cryptos, you can get loans against that. And they've completely ceased that. They have more $11 billion in customer assets on their exchange. And the firm says they pay up to some 19% on some of those accounts. And they've completely halted that because people say it's going to be a cold winter for crypto. And me personally, I have a little bit of crypto, nothing that I really even check or care about. I know that the technology behind crypto and crypto in itself is going to be very, very important in the future. I do have a crypto story where I sold 10 Bitcoins a little bit too early, but we won't get into that today. But listen, crypto is taking a halt. I hope you guys are prepared to weather out the storm because it should bounce back at some point, whenever it does. I think we can all agree traveling has changed drastically for a few years now. Everybody books on Airbnb. Matter of fact, I'm going to Jamaica in a few days and I'm staying at an Airbnb. And most cities, even when I'm in and out, if I'm there for more than 2 days, I'm going to an Airbnb. Well, Airbnb has decided it's going to pull the plug on China's mainland. They're no longer going to be holding the operation here. They said ever since they started in China in 2016 that they've been facing local competition of domestic players that just really it's not worth it. They said it's only been, I think, 1 or 2% of their business anyways. So they decided to pull out. They said actually their outbound Chinese travel and hooking up the Chinese travelers when they go abroad with Airbnb stuff is going to be good. Now, they're still going to maintain an office inside of the mainland, keeping hundreds of employees, but they're pulling out. So if you're traveling to China anytime soon and you're thinking you're going to get an Airbnb, nope, it's not going to happen because they've pulled the plug just a couple days ago. Will we see this trend continue with other tech companies pulling out of China as they face a lot of local competition? Time is to tell. I'm going to keep my eyes on the streets and let you guys know if anything changes with other tech companies deciding to pull out. Maybe Uber. I think Uber's there. Maybe they need to go. Maybe they want to go. Let's see. I'll keep you guys up to date. The writing is on the wall. Everyone's favorite step cousin to Zillow, Redfin and Compass have decided to cut staff. Redfin is going to be cutting staff somewhere around 8% and Compass around 10% of its employees. And right after that announcement, their stock prices went down. And this is when you start to see that they overhired. And as soon as the interest rates go up and the demand for houses go down, they cut their staff between 8 and 10% for each one of those companies. This is the writing on the wall. I'm telling you, we're going into a recession, but don't look at it like the Great Depression of 2008. Things will go down. There's just not any need for them. Redfin was one of the companies that hired agents to list homes at a salary. They would take anywhere from $40,000 to $50,000 a year, and Redfin would list properties for you, I believe, to 1% to 2% rate. So they decided that since homes are not going to be selling as much as they used to, they're going to cut the staff. Where the agent's going to go now, I'm not sure. They'll have their license. I'm pretty sure they're going to hang it somewhere else and continue to go. But this is a telltale sign. Companies are starting to lay off people that are directly connected to the real estate tech sector. Let's see how this goes. We've seen that Better.com laid off a lot of people. Compass is laying off some folks. Redfin is laying off some folks. Keep your eyes on the street. You need to be watching and reading these things every single day so you can be a smart investor. You can be smart with your finances and know when and where to put your money. A Manhattan landlord tries to sell his building as an NFT using ETH, right? He said the price dropped $12 million, and you're probably wondering why. He had this building listed for $29 million 2 weeks ago, but we all know that crypto took a dive, and he had 15,000 ETH listed as the price, which would have roughly been $29 million. Well, ETH took a 40% dive, and so did the price of the building. Well, you're not going to get it at a discount because he's actually going to change the listing to reflect the respective price of what's going on today. But the cool thing is, he's not going to be the first person to sell real estate using an NFT or ETH. I think he will be one of the first commercial ones to sell using ETH and an NFT. But this, he says, is going to be the change of the guard. You know, the old technology when it comes to selling with the new technology. So this is going to be interesting. This is something that I am actually spinning my wheels on right now, is how to sell property like this, because it's coming. The true technology behind blockchain will really, really help real estate down the road if we can get every single transaction on the blockchain. It will speed up transactions. It will make sure they're more secure, reduce fraud. It may even get rid of the insurance that we are required to buy, title insurance, every time we transfer property. Hopefully this one goes through and he doesn't have to sell the building for $16 million. He'll get the $29 million. I'm sure he will. But this will be another notch in the belt of us moving forward with real estate technology using the true blockchain technology. I'm going to follow this story and see who buys it, and maybe I can get this person on the show. Some of you may not know, but in 2004, I became a real estate licensed person and a broker back-to-back and opened up my own firm. And so a few years, I ran my own real estate firm, doing traditional real estate with the broker, buying and selling, having my own agents. And after a few years, I switched to strictly investment properties and managing properties. But here's what happened. If you remember the time, I said 2004, 5-ish. The market crashed in 2008, and things were going real well for me. But remember the ignorance that I had back then. I did not pay attention to the veterans and the people that were around me that were telling me, listen, things are coming, slow down, prepare for this. And I see it even till today. As I am now sitting on the other side as an actual real estate investor, I give advice and tell people, and I read a lot of articles, and I can see the writing on the wall. We are going to go into a correction. It's not going to be a 2008 recession like we had back then, but we will go into a correction. So a lot of people are fighting against the information from the experts and the people that have been in the field for a while because things are going good. And a lot of people are waiting for real estate to go down. The reality is it won't go down much if it goes down at all. It may actually go up because of the inventory, but remember, listen to the people who are successful who've been through a couple cycles of this real estate. Take your emotions out of the advice that they give you because it could be beneficial for you to prepare and listen to what they're telling you. If you're ever worried, look at the people with a lot of money. Find out what they're doing and model after that. It's important to take advice from people who've been there and done that. I know I sound like an old man, but I'm telling you, if I took that advice in 2008, probably wouldn't be sitting here on YouTube. Do me a favor, read a lot, listen a lot, pay attention to the people that are around you who are in a better position than you. Listen to their advice, take your emotion out of it, and if they say go do this, you might want to pay attention and go do that. This is this episode of Major Hype. I really appreciate you guys being here. If you're not a subscriber, I would do everything in the world if you just hit that sub button. And if you do, also turn on the bell because you'll get a notification every single time I drop a video. Got a beautiful new studio. Everything's on the up and up, so more content is coming for you. Like this video, subscribe, and pass it to a friend if you don't mind. And I'll see you guys tomorrow on Major Hype.